Hello and welcome to India Matters on Monday night. Rahul Gandhi finds himself under fire once again, only this time it's not from the ruling BJP, it's from someone else entirely. Rahul Gandhi has received what can only be described as a brutal tongue lashing today from the Supreme Court, India's highest court. The trigger was his remark a few years ago that Chinese soldiers were beating up Indian army personnel in Galwan in Ladakh and that India had lost 2,000 square kilometers of territory to the Chinese. That statement, whether Rahul realized it or not, aligned perfectly with China's propaganda that it had defeated the Indian army. The truth is something entirely different. Our soldiers, in an incredible fight against the odds, not only held the Chinese back on their side of the line of actual control in Ladakh, but also beat the hell out of a deceitful and unprofessional Chinese army that had come in for an ambush without any provocation. You can ask me personally, I literally wrote a first-hand account of the clash, the only journalist so far to speak to the soldiers who were involved in that fight with the Chinese. Today, the Supreme Court asked Rahul point blank, when there is a conflict across the border, is it unusual to have casualties on either side? That one question was a reality check and a reminder that national security is not a playground for reckless political one-upmanship. I do not personally agree with the Supreme Court when it says, if you are a true Indian, you would not say these things. Nobody should be handing out certificates of what is or is not Indian. But I will say this tonight. Rahul Gandhi has a clear affinity for picking up an outsider's view to bash the Indian government without sparing a thought for his position, for the facts, for nuance, or even for political wisdom. Take the recent example of Rahul embracing Donald Trump's line that the Indian economy is dead. That has turned into a cringe moment even within the Congress party, which now finds itself lurching from one Rahul-induced image crisis to another. Instead of building his own political weaponry against the government, Rahul seems constantly distracted by what India's foreign adversaries and vested interests have to say. On Galwan, his view aligns with China. On the economy, it aligns with Trump, and we know how he feels about India. On the Rafale controversy, Rahul's attack was allegedly fueled by reports in the French media. As leader of the opposition, Rahul's responsibility is not to behave like a campus rebel, say his critics, who enjoys scoring quick points without thinking through the consequences or how he looks. Yet his instinctive embrace of even the flimsiest outside criticism of India, no matter who it comes from or what the motives are behind it, shows that he simply has not grown up politically, perhaps. The damage is not just to him. His party is left to clean up the mess he leaves behind every one of those mindless Modi-bashing missions. At a time when there's more than enough weaponry to attack this government with, believe me, there is, Rahul Gandhi's bungled choice of issues only distracts and dilutes from the genuine dissent and opposition to government policies that this country needs. This time, he heard it straight from the highest court in the land.
चाइना के बारे में एक सवाल नहीं पूछा जाएगा। जिन्होंने 2000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर हिंदुस्तान का उठा लिया, जिन्होंने हिंदुस्तान के 20 जवानों को शहीद किया, जो हमारे जवानों को अरुणाचल प्रदेश में पीट रहे हैं, मैंने कहा हिंदुस्तान की प्रेस मुझसे इनके बारे में एक सवाल नहीं पूछेगी, मगर उस थ्रेट को ना छुपाया जा सकेगा और ना इग्नोर किया जा सकेगा। हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सोई हुई है। इस बात को हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सुनना नहीं चाहती है।
And joining me live now on India Matters is Manikam Toor, Lok Sabha MP of the Congress Party. Good news today from the Supreme Court for Rahul Gandhi because the defamation case has been stayed against him, so he doesn't have to face defamation. But there were very, very scathing comments, Mr. Tagore, for Rahul Gandhi. Your opening reaction to that, the Supreme Court basically saying, were you there? You know, a true Indian would not say that the Chinese army came and bashed the Indian army. Your first words, Mr. Tagore.
This is when I read that story about what in the court of the record, whatever it has been commented by the honorable judges, if you are a true Indian, then you would not say such thing. I thought that new law in place where true Indians should not question the government in power for Chinese institution inclusion. We need to understand that as leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi ji has been raising this issue multiple times, and facts are there. And journalists like you also knows that Mr. Gandhi has been from 2021. He has been raising in many forums, and in Parliament also he has raised that. He has submitted questions. He has wrote to Honorable Speaker for not admitting that questions, and then he has raised it in the Parliament also. Therefore, this is usually the political leadership only speaks this thing. When we ask the government some questions about which is not acceptable to them, political leadership you ask our they call it as anti-national, anti-Indian, or prove our Indianship. Now, in courtrooms also, the word is echoing is very unfortunate. We feel that we all have great respect for the judicial system and honorable judges sitting in various chambers in India. But these kind of words sends a very wrong message to because to the elected representatives when inside the chamber of parliament we can call anybody anti-national. Judges also we can question their loyalty to the nation. But that's not the right way to see the constitution. Constitution is embodied with many kind of responsibilities, and we hope that honorable judges words of the not in the order may be a positive order for Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji and the leader of opposition, but in the course of the conversation some words has been spread, and the IT wing of BJP, we all know that can spread anything more than the way fire can be spread. They are so fast in spreading these kind of stories, and they were successful in creating an impression that the courts has called Mr. Gandhi as some other thing. Therefore, which is very painful for me when I saw that first time.
This is a very big comment you're making, Mr. Tagore, right now. Manikam Toor, Congress MP, saying we can also question the loyalty of judges. They say they have the highest respect for the Supreme Court, but the Congress now officially saying we can also question the loyalty of judges of the Supreme Court. Mr. Tagore, I know you are weighing your words carefully, but the Supreme Court saying, you know, a true Indian would not say these words, in its oral order on Rahul Gandhi, has only fueled the idea that Rahul Gandhi gets energized by views of outside forces, which is what the BJP uses to attack Rahul Gandhi. What would you say about that, sir?
No, India's politics has changed. You have to understand it that India's politics has changed to the extreme words being used. Maybe the right-wing conservative system in India, where they use very hard words, which usually gets usually we get hurt with their words, because the words are very sharp in it. And now in the central of those people who believes in a progressive politics also has to use strong words, not the hard words, strong words to convey something, because when we convey the truth, when we convey the direct words only, people understand it powerfully, because it is the words which matters now, because of the equilibrium where we live in, because of the social media as well as the media being in the 24/7 world. The lighter diplomatic words doesn't remember in your memory. We always forget the words which has been told in very sober languages or something, because we have to be very strong. We need to use strong words across the world. That is happening, because if you are not using strong words, people don't remember what we are saying.
This is a really big news point breaking tonight on India Matters. A Congress MP going out on a limb to say we can question the loyalty of justices and judges as well on a day when the Supreme Court has had very harsh things to say about Rahul Gandhi. These are the questions we're asking tonight. Manikam Toor, thanks for speaking to me here tonight on NDTV. The questions I'm asking tonight: who advises Rahul Gandhi on the choice of issues to attack the government with, especially at a time when there are so many things to attack the government about? Is Galwan really one of them? And has Rahul Gandhi paid the price for intemperate remarks? Does Rahul Gandhi believe outside voices more than his own party? Is Rahul to blame if his views align with China, Trump, Pakistan, etc.? Why is the BJP making that an issue? So what if others agree with him? Number 4, who is the government to call Rahul Gandhi an anti-national? But it's a completely separate issue for the Supreme Court to now actually do the same, because can the Supreme Court really hand out true Indian certificates? Can it judge who is really a true Indian? Are the big questions tonight on India Matters. Joining us live on India Matters tonight, Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Gandhi, political analyst. He speaks in favor of the Congress. Rajat Sethi is also a political analyst. Thanks very much to all of you. I started with the Congress MP. I'll begin with Charu tonight. Charu, the Congress party, you've just heard Manikam Toor, sitting Lok Sabha MP, say, we can question the loyalty of Supreme Court judges as well. It's a big attack on the Supreme Court after its words on Rahul Gandhi tonight.
Good evening, Shiv. It's not very surprising for me to see Congress continue with this pattern of making reckless statements, because that seems to have become the norm for this political party. Rahul Gandhi is the leader of opposition. He sits in the Indian Parliament. But every single time, any statement or any narrative which is floated by any foreign power is the narrative that is supported by Rahul Gandhi, never that of Government of India. What happened today is very simple. The Supreme Court simply asked him that you are making all these tall claims. Do you have any substantive proof? Do you have any documentation, any satellite imagery or anything at all? He had nothing. None. As usual, simply making reckless statements with nothing to back them with. Here's a very simple thing. Usually, when a leader of a political party, especially a leader who's in the Indian Parliament, is speaking, he's going to be quoting the Indian Army. What does Rahul Gandhi do? He contradicts the Indian Army every single time. He'll contradict about surgical strikes. He contradicted even now during Operation Sindoor. He contradicted, in fact, insulted when he said, "Hamare jawan pit rahe hain." That's the kind of language he uses. And it's not just about our jawans or our army. Just yesterday, Shiv, Rahul Gandhi was talking about late Arun Jaitley ji coming to him about farm laws, wherein Arun Jaitley ji had passed away a year
Charu,
before.
I'll come back to the other instances. We'll come back to. Let's focus it on today's comments on the Galwan issue. We'll try and come back to the others if we have time. Sanjay, there's relief for Rahul Gandhi in the defamation case. That is definitely good news for him. But there is no ignoring the scathing nature of the comments made by no less than the Supreme Court for Rahul Gandhi. This is not from the BJP. This is from the highest court in the land.
Yeah. Shiv, it's good to be back on your program again.
Good to have you,
I want to make 2 quick points, which I think are very relevant, because these are very serious issues. We can't treat them as just some cursory discussion point. The Supreme Court statement, I'll tell you why I have a problem with that. I have a problem because I live in Mumbai, as you already know. And a couple of days ago, the Bombay High Court, when there were people who wanted to protest about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, the Bombay High Court actually said, be more patriotic and look at other local issues. And I felt that was a strange, a very intriguing infringement on a call by people who had a fundamental right to protest. And I do believe that there are no sacred cows where India's institutions are concerned. I think let's put that speculation to rest. I think all of us are very seasoned adults and analysts of politics on your show. And everybody knows after the 4 Supreme Court judges of the Collegium did that press conference in New Delhi, where they talked about the Supreme Court's internal, moral, and several other crises, that no institution in this country is really a holy cow, which raises the fundamental point that end of day for the Supreme Court to say who is more Indian And should Rahul Gandhi not speak on social media, but only in parliament, frankly speaking, appears to be both obtuse and outrageous.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. Number one, I think the Supreme Court's eminent judge, I have a lot of respect for the institution notwithstanding, should know that the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, declared a military ceasefire, and the government can dispute it for all I care, on Truth Social or X. I mean, the judges have to be little, cognizant that times have moved on. Today, a political leader speaks on radio. Mr. Modi does a Man Ki Baat. You can speak actually on a podcast. You can do rallies. You can speak on multiple platforms, give TV interviews. To say that you can only address that in parliament, which, by the way, is not happening 365 days, and even when it does happen, the LOP may not get a chance to speak, is being rather myopic and not altogether, disputable.
But the game has changed somewhat today, Rajat. Are you surprised to see the Congress and its supporters attack the Supreme Court today and question its loyalty? Sanjay says, the Supreme Court is, has overstepped by actually questioning someone's Indianness in this particular regard. What do you think, Rajat?
Shiv, on a daily basis, Congress and the Congress supporters, they carry acid bottles and pour on the roots of our institutions. It happens every single day, be it Election Commission, be it the Supreme Court. They talk about fallibility of these supposedly constitutional institutions on one day, and the other day they start swearing by it. That how can BJP try and thwart the constitution and thwart the constitutional institutions? See, the problem is this cherry picking. They want to cherry pick when they're called out. Right now, Rahul Gandhi has been publicly called out for what he said, for the absolute, what I don't have words that I can think of right now, absolutely despicable words for our armed forces, because he deep down doesn't have respect for this country or anything this country stands for or anybody who carries the spirit of this country in the veins. The problem with Rahul Gandhi is that he can conjure up a sentence where India and death is put up together in one sentence when he called out India's economy as dead. He has that very, very confident, smirky laugh on anything negative. Have you ever seen, and I'm asking this question to your viewers, have you ever seen anything positive about our country from this man? Ever? How can it be that every single thing is negative, every single thing he wants to make absolutely vacuous claims, and when you are called out, you run away, you chicken out. You did the same when you went to Cambridge University and all around the universities, and you claimed Maharashtra election is rigged. Just yesterday, before his own supporters and party workers, he was saying, I didn't have proof for Maharashtra election. How irresponsible is this leader? And I shiver on the thought that this person is potentially running for office, the biggest office in our country.
Sanjay, irresponsibility, credibility crisis, leaping on, the claims made by foreign voices, vested interests. That seems to be Rahul's big distraction. It's led to a kind of credibility crisis as far as he's concerned. And maybe that's one of the reasons why the Supreme Court has had such harsh views on him.
Well, Shiv, let me just tell Rajat, as far as India's institutional health is concerned, it's emasculated completely. May I remind him what the Supreme Court had to tell the ED? I mean, literally saying you're fighting political battles. So for God's sake, let's not even go down that road. The truth is this, Shiv, that end of day, the leader of the opposition commands the overall India vote bloc is 42% of India's voters. And Mr. Modi, as the Prime Minister of NDA bloc, commands 44% of the voters of India. To call the leader of the opposition anti-national is insulting the 42% Indians
but
who
this
have
is the
voted
Supreme
for the
Court,
Congress
not the
plus.
BJP, Sanjay. That's the important part here.
I know. I'm aware. I'm just coming to that, which is why I said that for the Supreme Court to even insinuate on patriotism or the nationalism of a political leader who represents such a vast chunk of India is, in my opinion...
But Sanjay, is Rahul somewhat to blame for this? Is Rahul somewhat to blame for this? I mean, the recent one about the economy, the comment about the economy, even the Congress party has been, sort of cringing and saying, what kind of a comment is this? Behind closed doors. That's the point. So there is a pattern here as well.
Yeah, Shiv, you've been very reasonable and fair, and I think I really admire that really. So let me try and actually bite the bullet on your
Charu,
question.
coming to you after this.
I do believe, and that Rahul Gandhi needs to be careful, because when you become a public leader on regular basis on the national limelight, I have always felt that politicians lose that fundamental right of speech, because everything you say will be subject to scrutiny. It's normal, and will be subject to amplification by your opposition. I completely agree with you. I also feel that Rahul, however, on content, has been bang on target. Like, for example, when he said, or he talked about the dead economy, he should not have said it as a literal, shall we say, kind of a.
But that is precisely the point. Isn't that precisely the point, Sanjay? The nuance, I don't think anyone will disagree. And you know me, I'm very fair. I say that there are 100 issues on which the government can be taken to task. Absolutely. There are 100 issues, including on economy. There are issues on which the government can be taken to task. But by being irresponsible, jumping onto what Trump says, you've lost the opportunity. You've lost the audience. You've given the BJP a chance to attack you on being being a Trump pyara and things like that.
I agree.
I got your point, Sanjay. Let me just bring...
Just 15 seconds.
Yeah, quickly finish
Rahul actually elaborated on that later to talk about crony capitalism, etc., which I think I was on a TV show and people even edited that. So it's not really completely fair, but I do agree with you that when you become a very popular face of the opposition, or if you're in government or you're the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi's speech gets dissected
you know this well. Sanjay, you know this well. When we live in times of bristling social media cells and spokespersons waiting to jump down your throat on everything. Rahul Gandhi is doing the equivalent of giving the BJP a full toss every single day. That is the point. And he's damaging his own party by doing that. Charu, yes.
So maybe on a lighter note, Sanjay ji should coach Rahul Gandhi a little bit. Why don't you, Sanjay?
Sanjay tried. Sanjay has tried. And he actually got punished for it.
So, why I mentioned Arun Jaitley ji, Shiv? The reason is that I wanted to quote a pattern. So whether it is about national security, whether it is about any policy of Bharat Sarkar, whether it is about just levying allegations on the Election Commission and then running away, he does it all from the safety of a mic in hand, standing safe behind a podium. Do you have the courage to speak in Supreme Court, to place any kind of evidence on record? Do you have the courage to reply to the Election Commission? Right. Put your allegations down on paper. No, he doesn't. And that is the problem. So whether he says that Chaukidar Chor hai, or the entire Rafale issue, which was completely misrepresented and he had to apologize for it later, the problem with our leader of opposition is that he's got zero accountability and he thinks he can get away with it. I'm sorry, you cannot. And Sanjay ji, everything that he says is here on video, on record for the entire world to see, not just India, not just us. So when he calls the Indian economy dead, when he makes blanket statements about everything and anything, I think you need to take a stand against these kind of statements. Like I said, he sits in the Indian Parliament. It is Indian citizens who voted him into that position of power, and he needs to take national security more seriously. And I will say this again. Quote our defense minister, quote our army, quote our military, and our leaders have clearly, very clearly, multiple times stated, whether in media briefings or in parliament, that no such thing happened. Yes, there was a tussle, but Indian army came out tops. Shiv himself was visiting there and I saw him do interviews from the location itself. So how can you just shoot off the mouth and then think you can hide behind your spokespersons and pretend nothing existed?
Is it an accountability issue according to you, Rajat? These comments used to come thick and fast at one point of time. They were made before Rahul Gandhi was, became the leader of the opposition, and they're coming back to bite him now. But this is an accountability, entitlement issue, not really having paid the price for comments of this kind?
Certainly he hasn't paid the price because he carries a Gandhi behind as a surname. You remove that Gandhi and we'll see what he is and what he represents. First of all, he doesn't represent 42%. No India Alliance member today stands with him, even on his absolutely despicable remarks on India's economy. Even his own party people on record have said that what Donald Trump said was wrong. So I don't think he even has 40% of support within his own party. Forget about people of India. Again, he gets a long rope primarily because he's a Gandhi. And he assumes that he is the leader of opposition because nobody within the Congress party has the courage to actually stand up to this man. Even my dear friend Jha sir also couldn't stand up against him. Otherwise, he could have been a far better president of the Congress party than this man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is the challenge. Till the party doesn't erupt from within, such absolutely inept politicians will continue to lead the grand old party of this country and devoid India's rightful opposition, which could hold the government of the day to account. He does this and he loses the plot completely.
Sanjay, you know, you've been in the hot seat of defending the Congress party on principle on very, very difficult issues. It's actually kind of sad, and I want to know how you feel looking at this. You know, I understand where you come from in principle on many of these issues. He is leader of the opposition, but the entire Congress machinery is now just consumed with putting out these fires, constantly in damage control mode as a result of these sort of personal indulgences, if I may use that phrase, of Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah, you know, Shiv, I completely agreed with your introduction that the government of Mr. Modi has got so many fault lines that, frankly speaking, the opposition is not frankly ahead in the race already. I think they are giving it on a silver platter to the BJP.
Exactly.
And that's, frankly speaking, not in the nation's interest as well. So here is my fundamental problem that the Congress, I think, keeps making from time to time. And Rahul, I can say it publicly on your program, he's got the right intentions. His heart is in the right place. But when you are in politics, when you are in a 24/7 live wire television,
but Sanjay, how long is that going to be said about Rahul Gandhi? How long is that going to be said? He has the right intentions.
Yeah, I agree with you that you have to be very prudent. I have always felt that politicians need to be circumspect, and political communication is the one fault line that very often gets good people to actually struggle and fall
Charu
behind
is
in the whole race.
vigorously shaking her head. She doesn't believe you when you say he's a man with right intentions. Charu, tell us why.
Absolutely not. He has lost close to 95 elections. And why? You cannot keep making excuses for a man who's old enough to be a grandfather already. I'm sorry, Sanjay ji. He needs to take responsibility, and more than that, all of Congress needs to stand against him and call him out. You need to do that, because if you all really want what is best for India, you have to play for Team India. You can't be on Team Pakistan one day, Team China another day, and Team USA the other day. When you have to speak in one voice for the nation, please understand that you can't keep weaponizing misinformation for petty political mileage. And that is what Rahul Gandhi is doing. You're weaponizing misinformation.
Rajat, final comment from you, then I'll end with Sanjay.
I think that Mr. Rahul Gandhi needs to love the country first before he makes public reckless remarks the way he does. Currently, I have enough evidence to come to a conclusion that his intentions are not right. He is a deeply anti-national person, and he has no right to be the leader of opposition of this country.
Absolutely.
Sanjay, I'm going to end with an interesting question for you. A prescription for Rahul Gandhi. You know, let's have a prescription. You've heard the BJP, you've heard Rajat. They say, no, you're wrong when you say that he's a man of right intentions. He has wrong intentions. The Supreme Court has kind of insinuated it. Rajat goes ahead and says he is anti-national. The BJP has held press conferences. You've seen what it's like in the political kitchen, as it were. But what would your advice be, Sanjay? I'm really interested in knowing what would your 5-point sort of prescription be for Rahul Gandhi, given that he's just gotten this tongue lashing from the Supreme Court today?
You know, my prescription for Rahul Gandhi, and I've shared it with him personally quite often in the past, has been that please take every interaction with the public and the media extremely seriously. In fact, don't see it as a formidable threat, see it as a great opportunity. And, you know, if you're making an impromptu statement, please remember that you're the leader of the opposition. You are a shadow prime minister, to be honest. And if you're going to be seen in that light, particularly on foreign policy and national security, you got to weigh in your words, because it's not just watched by Indian media or the Indian public, it's watched globally. So I just feel that end of day, the only advice that I would give Rahul is that please be very cautious. And in fact, if you're smart, I actually recommended go to television channels, talk to podcasters, engage with people, because I think everyone wants to know the mind of the leader of the opposition. And we should never be, kind of, developing some kind of a prejudice or a bias based on whatever past experience or, supposed, some kind of stereotyping. It's very important to engage. I have always felt that.
Yeah.
And Shiv, I'm sure you'll agree with me that if Rahul were to come and tell you that I want to sit with you for half an hour, 1 hour to give
I
you
would
one-on-one
love that,
on
except the
various
Congress
questions,
has
you would love it.
blacklisted me since September 2023.
Yeah, I
It's
think we
weird.
need to change that. No, we need to change that. That's exactly what I'm saying. I feel if the Congress and Rahul Gandhi just took on and addressed and spoke to the media, something that Mr. Modi doesn't do. In fact, I believe that Mr. Modi doesn't do press conferences. Rahul should actually have more freewheeling interviews. But here is the crux. You need to be very prepared. I think your emotion and heart is in the right place. But yeah, Rajat, Sethi and Charu Pragya have every right to rip Rahul apart.
I think,
if he says something that falls for them,
look,
is an easy picking.
the kind of finger pointing over Rahul Gandhi's intentions that will continue in the political space. I can speak from a citizenry's point of view as well, which is how long will these prescriptions going on? I understand that I'm the one who asked for it tonight, Sanjay. But people will ask, how long is it going to take for Rahul Gandhi to get things completely on track and, really pose a serious and credible challenge to the Modi government? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
Or
is the
I'm
proverb that
optimistic.
every time Rahul Gandhi wakes up in the morning, the BJP celebrates? Is that is that more true than untrue? Is the question that people are going to wonder about, since he has this predilection for jumping on issues that make him and the party look bad and trigger the kind of very surprising comments today from the Supreme Court. I'll have to end it there, but thank you very much, Charu, Sanjay and Rajat, for being with me on debate number 1 tonight on India Matters.